Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Saturday, January 30th, as we are getting to the end of the month and we are on the 321st episode of Live at the Roxy Quarantine Edition. That is right. You, my friend, have been in quarantine for 321 days. What the flying fuck? It's been a long time, and it's going to be a little bit longer, so buckle your seatbelts. We're going to need a bigger boat. Give me some more movie references that I could use right now, because today we're talking about the movie trivia Schmoedown. Last night was maybe the biggest night, or one of the biggest nights in movie trivia Schmoedown existence in the history of the MTS and all the years I've been involved. Never did it ever feel as large as last night. And there's a lot to break down. I already did a little bit of a stream where I talked to Winston on stereo about it. I also popped in on the rundown, which I have to say, Brad and Frank did an awesome job last night. And Jen always does a great job there too. But it was just really fun to talk about this. And tonight I was going to do a show where I gave some advice and just do a kind of corner like that. And I can answer some questions and give some advice as well. But I'm just still in the mood to talk about Schmoedown. So I was like, if I'm still in the mood to talk about Schmoedown, I bet you guys are probably still in the mood to hear about Schmoedown. And if you're not, guess what? There will be another show tomorrow because I'm live every motherfucking day. Every day. Today, I had my Whirl Girl shoot as we gave something a whirl. I'll announce very soon. Actually, tomorrow night, we're making the announcements of what we're giving a whirl next month. But as we were doing the shoot, Dorina and Steph were leaving. And I said, wow, I'm still going to have to do Live at the Roxy tonight. And Dee said, I mean, you don't have to. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, you do choose to. And I was like, that is so true. The only reason I have to is because I say I have to. And that is the meaning of life. But I do want to. So we're going to talk Schmoedown. And if you guys have questions, comments, concerns about the drafts, get them in now. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer right here in the Patreon. But in general, I'm going to talk about every member on my faction and how they got to be. I'm going to talk about what almost could have been the biggest surprises of the night, the teams that I'm most afraid of right now, the things that I'm most excited about, all of that, and whatever it is that you guys are putting in here. Thank you to everybody who's joining me live right now. John Bainbridge, Weston Ira, Joseph Ashley. Wow, Peggy, a draftee herself, coming in hot. I gotta say, I thought you were going to end up on the stars. That's not the way that the stars aligned last night, though. But here you are, still an MTS person now. Peggy said, congrats on getting to two great players in Jacoby and Christina. I'm excited to see what y'all do this season. I'm really excited about the two of them. They're freaking awesome. And so, yeah, Morse Code, Andrew Thomas, Mohammed Belsin, Weston, Jake, Curtis Mason, Chris Lemchi, Ryan Payne, Mike K. Just some shout outs for some of you guys who were joining in early today. I'll give more shout outs later on. Or as always, if you want your name read out loud, make sure you Streamlabs in and Super Chat in. Speaking of which, I'm going to get to some of these Streamlabs first before we get into MTS talk. It's been a long day. Sorry for the late time tonight. I told you guys in advance, though. I warned you that I would be up later because of my shoot today. And also, other shit just was fucking flying all over the place today. Today was a day. It was a day. Glenn Caesar in the house says, hello, Roxy. Much love to you, Grammy, and Papo, as always. Thanks for hanging out with all of us after a long day of filming the World Girls IRL episode. Roxy's the best. Roxy number one. Yeah. I'll take it, Glenn. Peace, love, bunnies, and hugs to you and yours. Positive thoughts to you, RJ, and all the rock stars who show up here, give their support whenever and however they can. And don't forget, when it gets tough, even if you're by yourselves, you're not alone. Everyone who's battling, keep on fighting. We are with you. Remember, rock stars, you're kind, you're smart, you're unique, and being so unselfishly loving and supportive of others, including internet strangers, makes you worthy. That internet strangers one is key tonight. Absolutely. Therefore, your story is important and deserves to be seen and heard. You are appreciated. And as always, I hope that we can all find and feel some joy in each of our days, our weeks, our months, and even our years. Be most excellent to each other, rock stars. There's that movie reference. And world friends, because you're such cool people to know. Haven't said this in a bit, but hashtag smash cancer. And saying it again, Miles Cosgrove, Brett Hankerson, Jonathan Mattingly, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor, all three of them for killing Breonna Taylor. Justice for all the people who have lost their lives due to excessive force. Hashtag say their names. Thank you, Glenn, for checking all of those things off our list that we make sure we talk about on this show every day. Not just because they're words to say, but because we believe them. You are the best, and thank you for keeping us accountable. Chris Martinez in the Streamlab says, hey, Roxy, just want to say Star and I love you. Thanks for being here with us every day and giving us something to look forward to. Love you guys too. You guys are the rock star world friends couple of the year. Wow, if we were doing superlatives, you really would win that. Dragon17 in the house. Dragon17 says, love your draft, Roxy. Best of luck this season. Please tell me about your pick of drafting Felix. I always saw him as a steal for faction because it was his Schmoedown, his Schmo Moneyball approach and Excel sheets. Do you plan to use this method? Great question. I'm going to talk all about Felix in a little bit, Dragon. But I will say that he's somebody who really, really excites me. And I'm going to tell you guys about why and the kind of credit that I'm about to give him. But he's definitely somebody to look out for. And we're very lucky to have him on the stars. Ace Money in the Streamlabs says, Roxy, I realized something terrible today. Oh, boy. Most toilets, okay, in public restrooms don't have lids. That means every bathroom is a biohazard full of airborne shit. This is the darkest timeline. I know, Ace Money. When I had that realization, I thought that I would never use a public restroom again. There's shit everywhere. Literally. There's shit everywhere. Just is what it is. Our bodies have adapted or whatever. We're all eating shit all the time. We don't mean to, but the shit's in the air, and then we're eating the shit, and then the shit's around, and then you just shit. We're all full of shit. Shit, all the shit, full of fucking shit. Shit. And that's the truth. And when you can't help it, you just accept it. Jake Yakoveta says, how much do I have to Streamlabs for you to trade Brandon Hanna? Let's think. Let's think if there was an actual number that I would say. Well, at the end of the year, we're going to win quite a pot, I hear. So I think that if you were going to Streamlabs me, because I'm confident he's going to do very well this year, I would need you to Streamlabs me enough that it didn't matter if I lost, and then I could pay off my players too, and they wouldn't care. I'm going to say maybe $50,000. That sounds fair, right? You thinking about it, Jake? What's it worth to you? Is it worth a small salary? Not that small of a salary? Is it worth a little salary to you? Let me know. Super chat in, Streamlabs in, get your questions in, all about the draft. And otherwise, I'm just going to start talking your ears off about how the fuck the stars came to be this season. So I literally have journals and journals about, I mean, it was insane. My whiteboards, my journals. I know that a lot of the managers had this shit. But all the different directions that this could have gone in. And one of my scenarios took place, and that was getting really my 1 and 2 were super, super contingent on each other. I needed 1 and 2 to work well with each other, not work well with each other necessarily like study together, work well with each other. Like I knew if I was getting Star Wars, I needed IG. If I was getting IG, then I needed Star Wars. And so once I drafted Brandon Hanna, I knew that I wanted to get Zach because I really think that Brandon Hanna is an awesome first draft pick. I'm sorry, Jake Yakovetto. I know that doesn't work very well for you, but let's discuss the things that he brings to the table. Number one, I like who he is on camera in terms of he's willing to go there. He's got personality and attitude. But really, for this season, I am going to have a long conversation with him. We're already talking a little bit, but I'm giving him a couple of days. I need him to do nothing but work. I don't care about I'm not caring as much about his promos. I'm not caring about him in the Facebook group. I care about Jeff Snyder's promos. I need Jeff to care about his promos and his Facebook posts and being a personality and being this character, this larger than life human, because he's a champion. And so we can get to that. That's where we're at with him, where we need him to focus on those things. I need Brandon Hanna to sit down and study and nothing else. I need him to be so invested in the studying, and I will take care of all of the rest. I need him to day in and day out, and I'm going to talk about this entire plan, or him and I will talk about an entire plan, but I need him to do his job, and I need him to do his job so well. Another reason, and so I'm excited for that because I think we're about to see a Brandon Hanna that we've never seen. I think that he has not had the guidance of somebody who just says, I need you to not care about you. This is not about getting followers. And I'm not saying that that's what he's saying, but this is not about that. And it's not about being the brightest star right now. And it's not about being the shiniest penny because, Chandru right now is very shiny. This is about being the best. And in order to get there, you need to study the living tits off of yourself right now. Like that is what it is. And so I'm excited because I really believe he's capable of that. And then the rest will come. So something that's really cool is that Brandon Hanna and Alex Damon I just know it because I know Alex well at this point. And Brandon Hanna and I were both together at AfterBuzz. So I've worked with him for a little bit. The two of them are going to get along so well as study partners. And something that I felt awful about last season was not being able to give Alex Damon the support he needed in IG because we didn't have somebody to study with him all the time in IG, somebody who knew it like he did. And pairing these two together, I don't mean in a team, I mean on a faction, this is a match made in heaven. I just know it. They're going to be so clutch for each other. So that was a huge first round pick. And then after that, it's still about chemistry for me. Now, this was a really tough decision because here, to be just perfectly honest with you guys, me deciding between Zach and Molly. Both of them will obviously have great chemistry with Alex and both can study with Alex. Zach is Alex's best friend or one of his closest friends. And Molly obviously is his wife. So I knew that they would both be great. Molly also has a match coming up and she has a serious chance at getting points early on. And I really like Molly. And I think she's an awesome player and host and person. But in this scenario, I feel like I had to take a risk and go with somebody who's more of a wild card. And I know what Molly is capable of. And I think that she is going to continue to grow too. And I think she's a badass player. But I'm not sure the ceiling that Zach has. And so I had to take this risk. And I talked to Alex about this, obviously. And Alex was super supportive. And I'm really happy Molly's happy where she ended up because I think that it gave Alex the ability to be supportive of the decision that we made. And then also at the same time, I had told you guys that previously they had talked to me when I was looking for somebody when I got Quevedo. They previously had told me that they thought it'd be more fun for their marriage to go against each other. And while Molly did ultimately change her mind a couple of days ago, and I knew that she would be willing to become a star, I also want people on my team who aren't willing to become a star, but who the whole time would just love to be an effing star. And I think that Zach is just so grateful and happy to be with us and was grateful and happy to go as early as he did. And I think that it's going to be a really interesting road for Zach. He's super good. He's incredible. It's hard for me to think that anybody will take the belt from Alex because Alex is the greatest champion we've ever had in the Schmoedown. And I don't know how you can argue that at this point. He is the greatest champion we've ever had. But if there are people this season gunning for him, then I knew I needed to make sure I had one of the top dogs. And Zach's definitely one of them. And so I think making sure that I had both of them secures the Stars having that belt at the end of this season, which is really, really essential. So once I did that, once I had Jeff, Mark, and Alex, who I had already secured in the free agency, and then Brandon and Zach, it was like, now I'm just going to do what I want to do. This isn't just now it's not about fulfilling needs anymore. This is about what do I want and who do I want on the Stars. And so we'll talk about that in a second, but let me check in with you guys, see what's going on in the Streamlabs, the super chats, questions, comments, concerns. All right. Ryan Payne says, is it just me or am I going to start hearing first round Hannah? Please, God, no. I kind of like the sound of that, but that's the confidence that he needs. I think Brandon Hanna forgot that he's Brandon Hanna and he can do this. And I'm here to remind him and remind all of you guys. I got to say, my necklace combo is looking fire right now. This is because this is Grammy's Star of David that she had at the hospital that she took off before she went through the CAT scan and x-ray machine. And so I had to put it on and then I forgot to give it back to her when we left the hospital. So I don't want to lose it. So I'm keeping it on. The rest of this stuff is just cool bling, but go Rocks, way to layer. Todd Fair, our favorite spoiled brat who we adore, says, do you think that the Snyder Cut of Justice League is not a good movie? Don't think the hardcore Snyder fans will make excuses for the movie is good, even if it sucks. Todd, put me in the hot seat always. Yeah, I think that no matter what, the Snyder Cut people are going to think that the Snyder Cut is good. So I'll just kind of leave it there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the Snyder Cut people are going to like the Snyder Cut. Kind of no matter what's happening there. Rock and Movies with Tyler says, hey, Roxy, are you planning on trading for Y2J? If not, that's fine. Kaiser will find a way. Dungeon Master has spoken. Kaiser will find a way to what? My favorite, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this tweet. This is so good. I retweeted this from my account because I think that, and Shannon was like, I heard that this is not good personality trait when people say things like this. Here's the deal, Shannon. We gave you your one, babe. Shannon with Mike, last season, Mike said he wouldn't play for anybody else. And I get it. You guys are dating and you live together. He doesn't want to play for anybody else. And we all were like, all right, that is what it is then. And so we all let Shannon have Mike. But it can't be every player of yours. Now this season when Shannon was like, and neither will Marisol, and neither will Laura Kelly. And it's like, oh my God, girl, you can't have 5 players that won't play for anybody else. It's just a lot. So with Jericho also, it's not like he has declared, I'm going to be the movie trivia Schmoedown champion of the world. He's like, I love movie trivia. This is a fun game. I want to kick the crap out of Kevin Smith and Brittany Young. He's a very competitive person, but he more just wants to he cares about me. He wants to win for me. He wants to get points for me. And he wants to kick the crap out of these people he knows. So when I said to everybody, and I gave everybody the heads up, don't draft him unless you just want to bench him. It's absolutely your prerogative to draft him so that I can't have him. But if you are drafting him because you want to play him, he's not going to play. And that's not me saying, I didn't text him, don't play for anybody else. I just knew he wasn't going to play for anybody else because that's how it works. So he tweeted out today and just said, no Roxy equals no Jericho. Kaiser texted me today asking about a trade. I'm sitting on it in a couple of days because here's the thing. I think he thinks that I need to offer him something for Jericho when really he's going to need to offer me things because Brittany Young wants to play for me. So what is Kaiser going to give me to take Jericho? Because I don't need to give him anything. We'll see what he does. We'll talk about it. We'll see. But he has to reap what he sows. I told him not to do what he did, and he did it. And now he can sit in his shit for a little bit. Todd Fair says, what exactly did Walter Hamada do to Ray Fisher? Oh boy, Todd Fair, you're just in the DC camp today. Walter Hamada, Ray Fisher is saying that Walter Hamada messed with the Justice League or did not help the official Justice League investigations, and that he tried to protect Jeff Johns and the rest of the people that were being accused by delaying and procrastinating and infringing on the investigations. So that is what happened there. In case you didn't know the story, you can look more up, but that's kind of the situation. Let's go into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, and see what you guys have going on here. And then we can talk more about the rest of the players on my team. Garth Harkness McMurray says, I've been sick for days and missed watching the draft live. I woke up and found out all my friends got drafted, and best of all, two of them, Christina and Jacoby, are in the Stars. Yeah, yay. Now I need to get them to join my The Stars fan group page on Facebook. I think they did, Garth. I think I saw that. But yes, I love that. Hitman Hudson says, hey, I'm super hyped for the new team. I bought some The Stars merch yesterday. That's what I'm talking about. Especially excited to see Burkett in action. Yeah, me too. What went into picking him over Molly? So I just talked about that a little bit. But also, I just applied for readmission to my original college. So wish me luck. Good luck. I hope that it works out well for you. Just elaborating on the Molly thing again. It was a tough call. And honestly, we will have to see. Zach's going to have to majorly step up to the plate so that I know that I made the right choice. And anybody is lucky to have Molly on their team. I can't sit here and tell you guys that Molly is not an asset, because she absolutely is. And a lot of people say they'd rather go with the devil they know. But when it comes to the Schmoedown, in the past, I haven't taken as big risks as I've wanted to. And so this is an unproven entity, but I've seen what he can do in Dragon Con, and I just had to go with my gut on this one. Was tough, though, and I will say there were members of my faction who were really, really torn about this, but this is ultimately the decision that we made, and we're pretty excited about it. Michael K in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, I know the Odd Couple is your marquee team, but what other teams are you building on the Stars? This is an excellent question, Michael. One in which I don't have the answer to yet. And I will have the answer, of course, but it's going to depend. I can talk to you about my thought process a little bit right now. Here's the deal. So my fifth pick, the person that I drafted after Zach, was Janine. God's gift to this planet, Janine the Machine. So many years in the making have I wanted to work with Janine. And honestly, in the draft, I didn't think I was going to get her, because I knew I was going to go with Star Wars and IG. And although Janine is IG, I didn't know how established in IG she would be yet. And so until I'm able to get her IG level of knowledge and really study with her and quiz and see where she's at, I was looking at Janine as more of a utility player, but also an excellent singles player and somebody to team somebody with. So I didn't think I was going to get Janine, because I didn't think she would not go in the first or second round. There was a lot of mock boards in which Janine went in the first round, and many in which she went in the second. So the only reason I was able to get her was because I made that trade for the first pick in the third round, which was so lucky. And I feel really good about that. And who knows what we can do with her. But I'm answering the team's question right now, because after I picked Janine, I was like, okay, I got to get her some options here. I got to make sure that if what she wants to do, and I don't know yet, because I have to talk to Janine about all of her goals. I've got to have individual meetings with each one of my players now that they're on my team and see what they're expecting and what they're hoping for this year and where they really want to put their concentration and energy. But I want to talk to Janine. And if something she really wants to do is excel in teams this year, which I think could be really cool for her, I was like, let me make sure that I bring some people onto this team who could be serious contenders for her. So with my next pick being Jacoby, of course, a Janine Jacoby team could be a big option. And so with that being on the table, I was like, okay, I know at least I found her one potential partner. But then also, when I ended up getting Christina later on, which is a pick I'll talk about in a little bit, but obviously Jacoby and Christina have a working relationship too. And so I'm like, wow, there's a lot of potential there as well. And then I didn't think I was going to get Felix either, which again, I'll talk about momentarily, but he would be awesome too. So there's definitely some teams in there. And then of course, my decision to draft Ken Jack and Jeff Lowe is because I think that they would be an awesome Barstool team. And I think that that was one of my smartest moves as a manager, because when you are getting somebody involved from the outside world who could decide not to get that invested, but then you draft their business partner and BFF, they're going to want to play. And so I think that they would be a really cool team as well. What I'm saying is between Janine and Jacoby and Christina and Felix, and then having the two and having Ken Jack and Jeff Lowe, we have more than enough to make as many teams as we need, because every team needs to have what is called a B team. But keep in mind that Shannon Barney's B team was Collins and Marisol. So B teams can end up being huge stars and can end up being champions. Now, would I love to see Jeff and Mark keep the team's belt all year? No shit. That would be the best, like, from my mouth to the universe's ears. And do I think they deserve it? Yeah, I think that they're one of the greatest teams of all time. But at the same time, as I talked to Jeff and Mark about this, the likelihood of keeping a team's belt for an entire season, no matter who you are, is so hard, because it's not the same as Star Wars, which is also so hard, but where, Alex Damon defended the belt once last year and probably will defend it, Christian has said, 3 times this year. But when you are defending the team's belt, you're defending it and defending it and defending it. I mean, you are just over and you're getting hit from every single direction. So I think it's pretty important for us to have incredibly solid teams. And then also I need people who can be badass in singles. And those are kind of different skills, which I don't think a lot of managers really take into consideration. So that was a great question about what I'm thinking about for teams. Thank you to Michael for asking that. And if anybody else has any questions, please streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider right here in the super chat as well. Jake Yakavetta says, nothing to add here. Just felt like I needed to give you money for drafting Janine. I will take that. Wow, Janine, earning me some money already. Hell yeah, girl. You're the best. Thank you, Jake. Weston Ira in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, speaking of Ray Fisher, did you see and hear the recording of the independent investigator who backed up Ray? No, I didn't, Weston. Interesting. Cannot wait to hear that. I will definitely make sure I check that out. Make sure that you guys are sending in the super chat, in the Streamlabs. Let me know what it is you want to know about the draft, the behind the scenes, if it's about other teams, about what I heard, anything that you guys are curious about. This is the time to ask, and I will answer it to the best of my ability. Moving down the line, though, going to Jacoby. So this is interesting because you guys kind of have the dirt on this. So remember when Jacoby came into the chat here? So backing up. Remember, I had said the thing where I had seen Jacoby's profile. I thought that he was a big Trump supporter, but he ended up not being. And then it was a whole thing. And then I ended up coming in here, and then I was like kind of rude to come on my show or whatever it is. So Jacoby and I already had words. And then Jacoby, after the show, sent me a very nice email. And we got to talking a little bit. And I think I got to understanding him a little bit. And I really liked his tenacity. And I have to say, his energy and everything just kind of won me over a little bit. It's not difficult to win me over when you are a family champion and I'm already looking at you and I am seeing that you would be an asset to any team. But then when he had the balls to kind of step to me and then reach out to me and wanted to have that dialogue, I'll say that I was just very impressed. And I was like, I think that's somebody I can work with. So I put that in my back pocket. But I also didn't think that I was going to get him. So that was really exciting. It was really exciting. And I think that in the fact that last year I didn't have one rookie on my team, I really missed out on a couple of things. I missed out on any major surprises. There was not that wild card factor. People knew my players. And the great thing about rookies is that these other people, they don't know their strengths and their weaknesses. And so especially if you're going to have a player who's a utility player, for people to not know their strengths and weaknesses, yes, when you come from the families, there's game tape on you, but it's not the same thing. It's pretty awesome. And then also, I get to work with the most hungry people in the game. When you're coming up, you're fucking starving, and all you want is to chase those belts. And so I just have a good feeling about him. Here's what I'll tell you guys about Felix, because he was my next pick. This was 100%. I turned to Jeff Snyder for a lot. And as I mentioned before, when I was talking to Winston on stereo, I really, really want to emphasize that Snyder only does things for the people he loves. Like, Snyder's an interesting cat. And when you're out, you're out. But when you're in, Snyder's in. And Snyder really, really gives a shit about me. He really cares about me. And so last night, or not just last night, during this drafting process, when I'm reaching out to Snyder, Draco, and Damon nonstop, and I got on the phone with each one of them, and I'm texting with each one of them because A, I want to get their input because they're different eyes and ears, but B, I want to make sure I'm not picking people that they randomly have like issues with or don't want to work with or don't want to study with. Really, on my faction, Odd Couple just kind of work together. And if somebody needs something, then they reach out, and Odd Couple like advises about the wheel and everything. And they're always willing to help, but they don't really need help from my rookies. Although I think that's going to change this season. But I still need to make sure that they like everybody and that they see the same, because they're players. And you guys know I'm not a player manager. I'm a manager. Winston's a player manager. Sam's obviously the biggest player manager ever. When I say player manager, I mean somebody who also played and then managed. I am not that. So I like when I get my players' opinions because they see things in people that I don't necessarily see. And so they really, really, like, I will think somebody is good and then they will be like, no, because they couldn't answer this and this question, this means that they have these holes. So when I ask them things, they really go to work. And I said to Snyder, you have gone above and beyond for me here. Straight up, who do you want? Who do you want here? And pitch me your case because I'm listening. And I know you've got a great eyes and ears for this. And he was like, Felix. And I was like, just making sure. Like, I know we've talked about wanting Paul Walter Hauser, and I know we've talked about getting back Del Rio. And I know we've talked, we've had different conversations. And he was like, in my gut, I know it's Felix. I know. And he was like, I just have a fucking feeling about this kid. And I was like, and by the way, Felix and I are the same age. I call everybody a kid. I was just like, cool. And I had really liked Felix's audition tape. He just is like super money. He's got like this like suave look to him. Very well spoken. Just very like on top of his shit. Seemed incredibly knowledgeable. And I just also really liked him. And so when Snyder had this really strong feeling about him, and then we were getting down to it, I said, I think we could probably wait on Felix, but I'm not sure. And Snyder was like, if we wait on him and don't get him, Snyder was not going to be happy. And I was like, you're right. And so we drafted him. And I didn't think the reason I thought we could wait on him was because he wasn't really on anybody else. I didn't think he was on many people's radar because he wasn't on that big Frank sheet. And that to me was what a lot of managers were going off of. But thank God Snyder pushed me on this because he was high up on Winston's radar. And if we hadn't grabbed him when we did, and Winston had taken him, I think we would have really missed out. So he's an excellent addition to our team. And I can't even tell you guys already, but the things that he's already texted me about and the things that we're already communicating about, I'm like, this guy is a fucking team player. And I think he, with his math and his stats, is going to next level us. Every time I think that, I don't know who is my best pick of the draft because everybody is a star. But Felix was a really excellent pick in this draft. And I think that's going to pay off huge for us. I think it's going to pay off huge. So couldn't be more excited. And then also when I texted with Felix last night, I was stoked on this. It was his birthday yesterday. And so he was like, happy birthday to me. And like the universe being like, you just gave this guy the greatest birthday gift. And I'm not saying that I'm the greatest birthday gift, but to be a fan and to come into the draft and to get actually drafted and to get drafted by the Stars, who honestly, I really think that we had the best draft of the night. And I think that we're going to take this all the way. And we were one of the top 3 teams last year. And I think that this year we're going to be the top team. I'm just excited for him and I'm excited for us. So those are my thoughts on Felix. I still have 3 more incredible picks to talk about, though, but I will get to those in a moment because I'm going to take some super chats and some Streamlabs. I'm loving, dude, Todd is cracking me the fuck up. For those of you guys who don't watch all the time, don't listen all the time, and are just tuning in because Schmoedown talk, Todd is very, very well off and does not know how to boil water. So we taught him the other day, and he says he lives a very spoiled life. And that he dislikes that, but will not change it. So we accept Todd open arms with who he is. We appreciate every single Streamlabs and super chat he puts in. And Todd, you have the floor. Have you ever eaten Spam and yogurt? Do you mean together? I've certainly had yogurt. I've never had Spam, so I've never had Spam and yogurt. Oh, wait, is Spam the thing that I had? No, I've never had Spam. I've never had Spam. So I don't know if that's, yeah. Thank you for the question, though. Is that like a combo that people have? Is it like peanut butter and jelly, but Spam and yogurt? I really don't know. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer as I go through these last picks, but let me know what you want to know about the behind the scenes of the draft. I got a lot of dirt and a lot of knowledge, so come on, bring it on. Okay. Going to my next 2 picks. So here's the deal. I know that Barstool takes a lot of heat. And I know that some Barstool fans can be dicks. I know that especially when it comes to Barstool Sports, there has been a toxic fan base, not their entire fan base, but there is a portion of the fan base that is toxic. You know, kind of like how there's a portion of DC's fan base that is toxic, or Marvel's fan base that is toxic, or Star Wars fan base that is toxic, or Harry Potter's fan base that is toxic, or should I just continue talking about it? But I've been a Barstool fan for some time, especially when I was younger. It's how I kept up to date with everything going on. And being from Boston, it was like the move when we were kids. I loved reading Barstool. And while I am not always on the side, and very often not on the side, of David Portnoy and some of the shit that he says, I will say that there is no denying what Barstool is doing for small businesses. They are doing more than our fucking government is doing. And the millions and millions and millions of dollars that they have raised and businesses that they have kept in business is incredibly fucking impressive. And for anybody who says that they don't know the reasoning behind it, and is it for a good reason that he's doing this or for popular or whatever, I don't actually care because he's doing it. So mazel tov to him. That aside, that has nothing to do with my draft pick. He has nothing to do with my draft pick. And Barstool Sports really has nothing to do with my draft pick. The draft picks here are about two guys who know movies, who also bring a lot of eyes and ears to the stars. And not just to the stars, but to the entire show. And you're welcome again to all the other managers for me bringing more eyes and ears to the league. And I'm not saying I got them to sign up for the draft because that wasn't me. But had they gone undrafted, it would have been a shame because every time you bring in somebody from a different publication, and Barstool has millions and millions of supporters, and not only am I bringing in one, but bringing in two, making sure that they are invested in this, it's really fucking cool that now we are on Barstool's radar, and we don't know what that could look like for the league. Also, they're really good with movie trivia. So very smart people to have on my team. Also, I listen to their podcast. And I like it. So is their sense of humor for everybody? And are they for everybody? No. Is Tom Dagnino for everybody? No. I could keep naming people, but I'm really excited about Ken Jack and Jeff Lowe. And honestly, immediately, they were retweeting me, followed me, were liking the shit. They were excited about this. I think they're excited to be together. To me, these were really strong picks. So I'm very excited about them. And I can't wait to see what they do. Which leads me to the last pick. And I know, again, every single pick feels like the biggest steal of the draft. But this last pick was shocking to me. Because I thought there was literally zero chance I was going to get her, especially after getting Jacoby. And here's why. The Fan League 4 have been non-stop fucking talked about. Amaru went in the first round. Amaru was the second pick of the whole fucking draft. Mind-blowing. And for good reason. Amaru's going to be a badass IG player. I mean, I fucking watched every single match of his, and I cannot lie to you guys. He is scary good. He is scary good. Like, fantastic. And we all knew any manager who ended up with him was going to be really fucking lucky to have him. I think that he's dedicated, and I think that yeah, he's really, really good. But where he went indicated to me that the Fan League 4 were all going to go very early. Look, I'm using this me as my teacher. It indicated they're all going to go very early because the conversation amongst the managers was super duper the Fan League 4, the Fan League 4, the Fan League 4. They were on all of our radars. Peggy, who comes in here almost every show, who you guys know I really fucking like, who's also excellent. she went for, I don't even know what round she went in, but pretty early. And then obviously I grabbed Jacoby. So once I got Jacoby, I was like, there's no way I'm going to get somebody else. And then watching Christina not get picked up, I really feel like people forgot because the other three had gone. I think people legitimately forgot that Christina was still there. And I don't mean that in any way other than I am the luckiest person alive, because to get her where I got her was so badass. Yeah, Peggy went early at number 20. And to be honest, I'm not saying that all the Fan League 4 are evenly matched, but they're so close to each other in a lot of ways that this was just shocking to me. And so, yeah, once I had decided, once I had a second to breathe, and I'm looking at the people, because I'm crossing things off and whatever, Jeff said to me, "What about Christina?" And I said, "Christina's gone." And he said, "No." And I was like, "Are you kidding? What?" And then I start looking at my list, and I'm going through and I'm looking at every single person who's been drafted and by what team. And I'm looking at everybody that I've crossed off of the people that I wanted where she is. And I'm just like, wait, holy shit, there's no way. And so that was shocking. It was shocking to us. So honestly, when you go into the StreamYard and you have to type ready. And so it's counting down, and I'm looking and I'm like, Jeff, if I go in there and say Christina and she's already been drafted, we're fucked. We lose our pick. And then we go to the end. And he was like, he was like, you just went through your whole list. You wrote down every single person. He's like, I just went through my entire draft list. She hasn't been taken. And so I think that the manager are a bunch of morons, myself included, for letting this go as far as it did. But yeah, Christina fell way later in the draft than any of us thought she would. And thank goodness Jeff noticed, because I'm very excited about this one. And it's pretty cool to have two of the Fan League 4 on here, I got to say, because like I said with Ken Jack and Jeff Lowe, it's always nice to go into something. And this is for everybody in life. I know that I said I wasn't going to do Roxy's Advice Corners today, but think about anything you do in life. Would you rather go into a party by yourself, or do you want to go in with your friend? Even just somebody you feel comfortable with, because like otherwise you walk in and you're kind of like, it's me. When you have like a buddy system, it's helpful. I don't know how to phrase it other than that. And then once the initial thing is over, then everybody's buddies. So it doesn't really matter. But like that initial camaraderie between having 50% of the Fan League 4, that got me so excited too. And yeah, I'm very, very invested in that. And then obviously I will talk also about my final pick, which came through in the tweets, because I only have one more pick left. But before I do that, thank you to all of the current MTS players, not just potential draftees, but actual players that have come through. Amaru says, Peggy never really said it, but it caught on. That's crazy. Fan League 4. That's what we all call it. I don't know. Was that not what you guys... That's just what Christina, you're welcome for the words. And thank you for being a part of the stars. I can't wait to have you. I'm laying in bed because I'm still tired from yesterday. I feel that it was a day. It was quite the day. It really, really was. So anyway, that brings me to my very last pick, who there's a lot going on with this pick. It's a loaded pick. My last pick of the day was Brittany Young. And this pick is really important for several reasons. Let's discuss. Brittany Young, number one, beat Jericho last year. So I watched that, and I know she's very good. She was misguided in something that almost made her lose the match when she ended up picking Disney. And I had heard her before talk about how she loved Disney movies. But I know she thought that those Disney movies was one specific genre, and she wasn't thinking about the broader genre. And so she, for animated, I think that's what it was. Was it Disney or animated? Whatever it was, when I had heard her on a stream talking about it, and then when she picked it, I was like, she has no idea what this category is. She doesn't know what this wheel slice is. And she bombed the slice. And she almost tanked the game for herself. So I think she could use my management because I think she's actually really good. She has a lot of movie trivia. She's got a very dope personality, and she's great for the league. Also, Kaiser took Jericho, like we talked about before, like the moron he is. And I don't know whether he forgot about Brittany Young or what, but I know he wanted her. So I don't know. It's kind of a win-win for me. One, Kaiser's going to have to grovel and beg for me to do some kind of thing with him because I have all the playing cards right now. Two, I actually would really like to work with Brittany Young. So, and I'm a huge fan of hers. So for all the reasons, this is a yes. This is a yes for me. There was some people at the end, when you get to that last spot, you're like, wow, this is my last chance to put somebody on my roster. It's intense. And I got to admit, I was there and I was like, Sabrina, Marzonia, like, what do I do here? But after watching Brittany Young's matches, after Kaiser taking Jericho, after knowing the potential in Brittany, for all the reasons, I was like, this has got to be what it is. And Brittany immediately tweeted out, which was awesome. And she's really cool. So this was a really fun pick. Great snag for the Stars. And a way to end and round out my roster that I was really, really impressed with and proud of. So that's where we are as of now. Let me go back into the Streamlabs and see what you guys are talking about. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Garth Harkness McMurray says, very smart drafting Jack Kennedy and Jeff Lowe from Barstool Sports. Not only would they make a good team together, I think they'd hype up their matches on Barstool podcasts and videos for publicity and bring in more fans. Jacoby and Janine would be a good team. I think that those are excellent suggestions, and I agree, Garth, that they would definitely, hopefully, talk about this. So that would be really cool. Huck Finn in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, was there any discussion amongst managers before the draft related to trying to drain the Star Wars players before Corruption's first pick? No, because there were so many Star Wars players. That was something that my faction was definitely trying to at times convince me to do. Keep drafting Star Wars, because they wanted to drain everybody of the Star Wars. But the problem was Star Wars cut so deep this year. There were so many of them that I could have filled my entire roster with Star Wars players. And then I would have had nobody else because there's so many talented Star Wars players this year. But I definitely think that there was conversation amongst everybody about not wanting to let them get Laura Kelly. And that clearly went down. So I think that, there's a little smile there, a little bit of a relief there. Ace Money in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, love the draft, and I'm really excited about the team you put together. You're killing it, RJ. Thank you. I really appreciate that. There's a couple other things that I'm really excited about this year that I didn't have last year. Again, the rookies aspect of it is really cool. Also, having 3 women on my team this year, 4 if you include myself, is very exciting to me. I had one woman last year. It was Stacey Howard, and boy, did she fucking hold it down for the Stars. I'm going to miss her like crazy. I am bummed that she is not coming back to the Stars. That is 100%. And I will say this to anybody who asks me, it was 100% a scheduling thing for me. She's not able to play often. And when I need points and I need somebody who can play in the singles tournament and I need somebody who can commit to matches who are during the daytime, she cannot. And that is the only thing that keeps Stacy from being lethal, because she is so fucking good. She's so fun to watch. She's one of my favorite competitors to watch in the entire Schmoedown. I loved being in her corner. And honestly, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to. I'm always going to be in her corner unless she's playing against the stars. Because once a star, always a star. And Stacy, God, that girl's a fucking star. She is such a star. So I'm bummed that she is not with us, but she was the only woman on my team last year. And now this year, when I knew that there were so many more women in the draft and also so many more people of color in the draft, not only did I want to make sure that I was drafting a diverse team because 2021, get with it, but also because the wheel slices are getting more diverse. So I need more diversity on my team because I need people to be able to keep up and play the game. And I need different people with different backgrounds. So I need men and I need women and I need people of all different races and all different regions and ages. Like, it's just something that you got to try to look into. So, and interests, it's important. And that's something that I was looking at this year too, and I'm really excited about. I know you guys are going to miss Stacy. Me, I have to tell you guys, me fucking too. That one was tough. And you know who had a really hard time with that one? Snyder. He has grown to, I think when Draco, Snyder, and I were in our group text before, we all were like, if we can keep Stacy, we're really going to try. But we couldn't take her too early. Not because of her play level, but because of her ability to play this season. I know she's working. So yeah, that one was tough. Really, really hard. Oh God. I'm going to watch all her matches. I'm going to be like a stage mom again, unless she's playing against the stars, and then let's fucking get her. All right, getting those last minute Streamlabs before we get out of here. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider, and right here in the super chat. Oh, looking at my roster, and I'm feeling really good and really proud. Also, I'm kind of liking the new name, the Stars, because we went from being rock stars who are like amazing and grungy and don't give a flying F to the Stars, and the Stars are number one. It's like when the Patriots were not the number one team and they needed to rebrand everything and they needed a new logo and they needed new colors. Like, we needed new, because last year, although we did very well, we came in third, and now we're gunning for one. So there we go with the Stars. In terms of this week, tomorrow, guys, I am live at the Roxy, probably here around 1, depending on Grammy. She's doing okay, but gosh, she's in a lot of pain, so got to make sure and check in on that. Tomorrow night, we will be live for the Whirl Girls for our Sunday wind down, so make sure you check us out there, and then live every single day next week at the Roxy and on Tuesday for SEN, which I'm excited about because hopefully we'll talk more about Schmoedown, which I'm totally obsessed with right now. Could you tell? Could you guys tell that I'm totally obsessed with it? Another thing I did want to quickly mention, because again, I know this was an advice stream, but as we are here and I do a Roxy's Advice Corner, I have one of my closest friends whose name is Jenna. She saw my post about my grandparents not being able to get vaccinated and how upset I was about it and how much I was trying all day, every day. And then when Grammy fell, I just didn't know what we were going to be able to do, and whatever it was, I've been refreshing the page, and it's possible to get anybody vaccinated right now. And so when I posted about it, does anybody know how to get them vaccinated? A lot of people in my life said really sweet things like, here for you if you need me, or like can talk anytime, or rooting for you. And all those things were really, really sweet. But Jenna messaged me and said, what are their birthdays? What is the name, their mother's maiden name? What are their addresses and their phone numbers? And give me their full names, and I'm going to do this for you. And she just every 5 minutes would keep refreshing the page all week. And she finally was able to get them appointments. So in a week from now, Grammy and Papa will have vaccination appointments on Sunday, not tomorrow, a week from now. Really hoping Grammy's feeling well enough that we can make it there. Fingers crossed. I think she will be. But the Roxy's advice corner of that is that when everybody, the nice thing to do is offer your well wishes and offer some help. The incredible thing to do is to not offer to help, but just to fucking help. And when you see a friend that's really struggling, sometimes the move is just to fucking step in and get the job done. And so shout out to the Jennas of the world who don't ask how they can help, but instead just show the fuck up and do it. And I just didn't, I was refreshing, and I just, between everything going on and me not having the mental capacity right now to handle it, I needed somebody to step up, and she did. And I'm forever grateful for that. So hope you guys find your Jennas in life. And I hope that you are the Jennas in life. Very excited that they're going to be getting vaccinated. I will keep you guys posted. Just wanted to share that little bit of very good fuck yeah news. All right, let's get out of here. I love you guys lots. Put down the toilet seats and the lids. Avoid the public bathrooms when you can. When you can't, it's just going to be a thing. Make your beds, even though it's 9 p.m. You want to get into a made bed. Take care of your loved ones. Reach out. Be that person they need. Just show the fuck up. Even if they don't know how to ask for help, sometimes you just got to insert yourself to the situation and get shit done. Much love to you guys. And I will see you in like, I don't know, it's like 12 hours, 15 hours or something. It's like not even that far. I'm here every day. Whatever. Tomorrow's episode 322. Insane.